Hello everyone, Clay Ferg of the Horror Franchise, back at it with another ranking video. Today, I'm going to go through my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. I'm not going to go too in depth, I'm just going to go by my enjoyment of them, plain and simple. My pros and cons are also going to play a part of this as well, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. As for our top 10, number 10 is going to be Game of Thrones. I've only seen this series once, and I really did enjoy it. There's not a whole lot of shows I've watched. If I were going to go through it, at least at my number 10, it's going to be Game of Thrones, because it's literally was one of the best shows ever made. And I'm not too crazy about medieval time type of shows or movies and such, so that kind of dumps it down. However, it's got great action, it's got great drama, it's got great character development, it's got great aesthetics, production design, visual effects, music, and story. How it plays into different divergent paths through and through till the very end. Obviously, my favorite character, and a lot of people's favorite character, is Daenerys Targaryen. Throughout the whole journey, you think that she is going to be the queen. Well, spoiler alert, she ends up being the queen very briefly. But, anyways, I don't know what else to say about this show. It's really fun, and I'm not one of those people that really shut up, phone. I'm not one of those people that really hate the final season. But I also can see how a lot of people do, because it sacrifices actual storytelling, character development, and all that for set pieces and action and all of that stuff. And really just poor writing that I definitely could tell. But I'm not a hardcore fan of this show, but I did enjoy it when I did watch it. And I think it's really worthy to be at the number 10 spot, because there's been a couple of other shows I've seen over the years. If I were to include cartoon shows and such, I don't know what else to say. I'm not really going to include cartoon shows. I'm just talking about like actual top tier TV shows. Realistic ones, I guess. Not cartoons and such. But Game of Thrones is at number 10. It had a strong course up until, I guess you could say, the final couple of seasons. Because I think season 7's where things started to get the cracks started to show. And season 8, I see why a lot of people hated it. And it completely ruined the whole show for them. I understand that. But for me, I still enjoyed it for what it was. But like I said, I'm not too crazy about medieval time stuff. And moving on. Number 9. Supernatural. Now, I was late to the party with this show. I started watching it around the time when it was really coming to an end. And to tell you the truth, I didn't watch the whole entire show. But I did watch half of it. I made it all the way up to season 8. I've actually, the first time I watched the show was all the way up until season 6. And I didn't have season 7 because I was literally like buying them online. And I bought season 7 at one point at a buyback store, and I never really did touch it because I was kind of into other stuff at the time. But after several years, they had the whole entire collection at Walmart, so I bought that. I started to watch it. Then I got super sick real bad. I had a health scare for a little bit, and I just fell off for a little bit, and then I got back into it. And once again, I made it to season 7, and I fell off again. And then I came back and watched all of season 8, and I fell off again and haven't touched it since. Here's what I will say. Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, they are great leads. I really like them both as actors. I really like their characters through the entire show. Obviously, come on now, Dean's the best character. Dean's my guy. I'm a Dean guy. Dean's cool. He's hilarious. And he's a badass. And he's the older brother, so there's that. I love Sam too. I love his story. I love his character. But if I were to pick 2, it's going to be Dean. No, seriously, I like how it starts out where it's ghost hunting, witches, ghouls, wendigos kind of stuff. and then it slowly morphs into demonic territory, and then angel territory, and then the devil himself. Oh boy, that was a big one right there. The first 5 seasons are my absolute favorite seasons. I think the show peaked at season 5. Season 5 is my personal favorite season. Probably a lot of you. Because I feel like it had an actual conclusive story to itself. And I think the actual creator of the show fell off and didn't really do the remainder of the show. I could be right, I could be wrong. I don't know the full story, but I think something I heard. But anyways, you could feel that in the later seasons. I think after season 5, the show just felt off to me. It felt different. It felt like it didn't have a clear direction. Still, it was super popular because it ran up to 15 seasons? Oh my god. I did spoil myself and watched the last episode and the last part of the last episode, how it all, and from what I've seen, I thought that's just only one way it could have really ended. They would just go to heaven at the end. So, I mean, from what I have seen, it was pretty kick-ass. The first 5 seasons are peak. Season 6, I did like. I mean, there was obviously the second episode had the most beautiful woman in the world, Julia Voth, the model for Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil games. So yeah, that definitely helped. I love her. She's my queen. So anyways, I digress. It ran off. I think it just fell flat on itself after season 5. But anyways, yeah, Supernatural is a cool show. But if I were to watch it again, I'd probably watch up to season 5 because the rest of the show just doesn't do it for me from what I've seen. Anyways, moving on. Number 8 is going to be True Detective, season 1. I didn't watch the entire show. I heard season 2 wasn't that great, even though it's got Rachel McAdams. I love Rachel McAdams. She's a really cool actress. And season 1's got Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. That's already a high bar for me right there. Matthew McConaughey, they're both awesome in this show. They're both awesome. The story, and if you like true crime stories and detective shows or movies or anything, this is probably one of the best you'll ever see. It is gritty, it is raw, it is dark, and it is well written and masterfully acted by Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. They are truly awesome in this show. It is just, there's like 8 episodes, and it is entertaining non-stop. It is just, like I said, it's just, I don't even want to repeat it. It's just that kind of show. It kind of reminds me of Seven with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. It got that feel to it. But I think it's darker for this. This is darker. But even then, truly is just, you're wondering who is going, it's not just about them going after the killer that is causing everything. It's really a psychological story between Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey's character. And you just see how their lives go as they're trying to solve this case. It's so much deeper than just a detective story. And by the end of it all, it's got a hell of a payoff at the end. I don't want to spoil. Like I said, I'm not going too deep in depth. It's definitely got a payoff. It's got a hell of a great ending, and like I said, I haven't seen the rest of the show, but season 1's enough for me. Awesome acting, awesome writing, just epic, period. Number 7, a show I actually watched to the end outside of Game of Thrones, Banshee. I don't know if a lot of people really know about the show. Obviously, it's got Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander in The Boys, which I've only seen the first episode. I know a lot of people love that show. I can't get into it. But before that, there was Banshee, and he was awesome in this show. The story is great. The character development's great. The action, it's an action-packed show. Full-blown action-packed. It is entertaining as hell. It's got great characters, and it's epic. It's a really cool show, and it stays consistent, and it doesn't really burn itself out through it, and it's actually got a really solid ending. It's got a fulfilling ending. This is one of those shows where it just maintains itself from start to finish, and it gets better and better and better and better as it goes. and it is awesome. I don't know what else to say about it. So it's a really cool show. I would highly recommend if you guys like if you like Entity Star specifically, if you like action, if you like profanity and other things like that. Let's just say it's full-blown TV anime is what I'm getting at. I don't want to say it on here because YouTube purposes, but it's a kick-ass show, hands down. And I would recommend you watch it. It's got a hell of a great ending. It's got a hell. It's a super cool show. Pure definition of a cool show. Number 6. Chainsaw Man, Season 1. I am not the person who likes anime. Never liked anime. Never really cared about anime. There's only like Transformers, you can make an exception, like Transformers, Cybertron, Armada, Energon, whatever. Cybertron, I grew up watching those. That's like the only anime I actually sat down and watched. And I liked Transformers a lot when I was a kid. I still like Transformers, but Cybertron was pretty cool. But then my brother got me to watch Season 1 of Chainsaw Man. And I sat down and watched the first episode. I didn't think I was going to like it. The name Chainsaw Man, I was like, that sounds stupid as shit. But then I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, let me watch another episode. Okay, let me watch another episode. I was hooked. I got hooked. Came home, watched the rest of it. I binged watched the shit out of it, and I was so glued to the story of Denji, the main protagonist, and the characters that surround him. Specifically, Makima, who is a badass. She's a badass, man. You got Power. You got... what's his name? Aki. You got Aki. And you got Himino. Oh, God, Himino. Oh, she's only had a handful of episodes, man. But, oh, I love her. Speaking of which... there you go. Oh, God, she's going to fall off. There you go. If you're a Chainsaw fan, you like Himino, there you go. Smoke a cigarette with her. I probably would, even though I don't smoke. She's a third person. Oh my God, I'm just dropping everything. I am sorry, everybody. I am dropping everything. My Black Widow fell, and I had to fix her. Speaking of Makima, there she is as well. There you go. She's a badass. She's the best character in the show, hands down, next to Denji. And I love Himino is awesome, dude. She's the type of person I just would... she's a real one, and I would totally want to hang out with her. But no. Season 1 was that awesome. I am very much looking forward to Season 2. If you've seen the movie, or if you've seen this show and you've seen the movie as well, which was pretty damn good as well, definitely sets up for what Season 2 is going to be. So I watched this, I can't talk. I'm screwing this up. This is one of those shows where I literally watched it back to back twice. I watched the whole thing and I went and repeat and watched the whole thing again. Not very many shows I do that with, but we're going to get to those later on because there's a handful of them here in this. So, yeah, Chainsaw Man, it has a hell of a strong start, and the movie was pretty damn good, and I'm looking forward to Season 2. But right now, man, it sits respectively at number 6 because these next 5 here set the stage for pure 10 out of 10 to me, for the most part. At number 5 is going to be the one that started this trend, that started this whole watching TV shows period. The very first TV show, like legitimate TV show I actually watched, Prison Break. The reason I got into Prison Break is because Wentworth Miller, for one thing. He played Chris Redfield in Resident Evil Afterlife, the movie with Milla Jovovich and all that, and I'm a hardcore Resident Evil fan. I got into Resident Evil, and I was curious about him because I heard that he was cool in Prison Break, so I was like, alright, I'm curious, I'm going to break it out. Didn't think I was going to like it at first, but I kept watching it, and man, that first season was freaking god tier, from the characters to the storytelling to all of it. It is super entertaining and is so freaking badass. It is such an awesome show. Season 2 was really good as well. Season 3, I think this is where the show kind of falls off for a lot of people. But for me, I didn't care. It had the vibe, the entertainment, the energy, and the characters are always great. This is one of those shows where the characters really tell the story, and they are all awesome. Even the bad guys I actually like. So it is a kick-ass show through and through. Season 3 was good. Season 4 I prefer a little bit over Season 3 because of the characters all come together to beat the main antagonist of the final season and all that. So that makes it more energetic. Season 3 and 4 are not as good as the first two, but they're still entertaining as hell to watch. Then there's the final break, which kind of fills in the gap for Season 4's true ending. And then they did 10 years later or 7 years later, they did a revival season. I did like it, but I think it would have been better off if it was left untouched and just left it the real ending to Season 4. The only reason they did the revival is so they can bring Michael Scofield, Wentworth Miller's character, back from the dead, pretty much. Which I appreciate. I like that. But I still prefer Season 4's ending. No, this show overall is awesome. This is one of those shows I have watched so many times. I don't even care if I ever watch it again. I have watched it that much years ago. Back after I graduated. It was right after I graduated. For years I watched this show so many times. And we would order it on Netflix through the mail. This was before you could watch Netflix on TV, streaming and all this. Yes, that was a thing. And I would buy one disc, 1 week, 4 episodes. It was like a year, I think, I watched this entire show. But yeah. This is one of my favorite shows of all time, and because I'm biased, and it's the show that kind of introduced me into watching more TV shows, pretty much. Yes, I've watched little shows like cartoons and such when I was growing up, but I was always more of a movie guy. But when I got into Prison Break, I was like, okay, I'm going to branch out to other TV shows. And so I did. And they're going to be coming up very soon because these next ones are going to be the ones that really set the stage big time. So with that being said, Prison Break is worthy at my number 5 list. Number 4. Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. The internet... I recently looked this up. The internet says this is the highest rated show of all time. And there's a damn good reason for that. And I absolutely 100% agree it is. There is not a damn thing wrong with this show. Even the worst episode is awesome. If that tells you anything. If you know what episode I'm talking about, you know what it is. You know what it is. Even that one. It's like a filler episode, but it's still damn. Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, the hell is Skylar White? She's a bitch. Hank Schrader's a badass. Gustavo Fring. Mike Ehrmantraut. All these awesome characters, dude. And the memes that come with it. I swear. No, seriously, I was like, what is the fuss with Breaking Bad? I got the first season at Walmart. I watched it. I was like, this is pretty cool. I like this. It's funny. It's witty. It's smart. It's very well. The cinematography, the story, the character development of Walter White is awesome. Then I got to season 2, and I'm like, oh man, this is man, things are just getting better. In season 3, oh my god, this is getting cool. In season 4 and 5, I was like, oh my god, this show's epic. Season 4 is my favorite season, by the way, because of this. The feud between Walter White and Gus Fring is epic, peak. Season 5 is a perfect ending. Period. This is the show that really maintains its identity, its characters, everything. From start to finish, and it just got better and better and better and better. I said the same thing about Banshee, but Banshee feels smaller in comparison to Breaking Bad. I mean, what else can I say about Breaking Bad that hasn't been said by a lot of people? It's a perfect TV show. But there's a reason why it's my number 4, because these top 3 shows really are the shows that are kind of a part of my life, really. It's hard to explain, but either they made a massive impact in my life, or they're just shows that I would prefer over it. I'm not saying nothing bad about Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is excellent through and through, but these next three I just prefer by a smidge over. With that being said, we're at our top three. Number three is going to be Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy, I got into this show. My mom got me into it, and my best friend got me into it. Because I'd see the two of them watching episodes here and there, and I'm like, what is this show? And I sat down with my friend, and we were watching it at his place one day, and I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. I'm going to try to give this a shot. So my mom had him on DVD up to season 5, because season 6 was about ready to come on TV at the time, and I started watching it. And I remember I was watching the whole thing. I just didn't know what to feel about it, but I was really having a good time. I was really having a good time watching it. I was just binge watching the whole thing, and I was really enjoying it. And then I watched it again. Back to back. Like I said before, I watched it again, up to season 5 again. And I'm like, dude, this show is awesome. Holy crap. Again, characters, the setting, the underworld of the bikers and all that. And like, Jax Teller, man. You got Ron Perlman as Clay Burrow. He's my favorite character. Ron Perlman's badass. The characters are great. And it has that realistic tone to itself about that underworld crime and all that. It's just... yeah, I remember them days. And see, I never watched it on TV, though. Season 6 I skipped because I was watching Walking Dead more and all that stuff. Spoiler alert, Walking Dead's next. Anyways, but yeah, then I got season 6 on DVD. I binge watched the whole thing in one day. Oh my god, I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. From the day it came out, I went to the mall, got it. With season 4 of The Walking Dead when it came out on DVD, back to back. I watched season Sons of Anarchy first. And man, that one's my least favorite season, but it's still pretty good. I really like it, even though it drags a little bit. Still has a hell of an ending. Oh my god. And then season 7 was the only one I saw on TV, with each week passing by till the bitter end. Now, I'm one of those people that really like the ending. How else could it have ended? It could have ended with Jax just, living with his family, his kids. But all that guilt, all the bloodshed, all the violence and the mayhem, how can you live after that? I don't know. Anyways, no. I think it had a great ending, and it's based off of the story of Hamlet, if you guys didn't know. So, yeah, Sons of Anarchy is a show I absolutely love. I got figures of Jax, Clay, and Gemma back there. I got a vest over here. I got a hoodie of that. I love Sons of Anarchy. That's one of those shows that I just... top tier... one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. I will say this, yes, it reaches its peak at season 4. Season 5, 6, and 7, when Jax is the president of the motorcycle club, it feels different. It feels slower, and it drags, but it builds up to a payoff for the most part. But overall, I love the show. Truly, truly one of my favorites of all time. And it was a part of my life. It was a part of my life going through during my earlier years after graduation. It was definitely just when I was trying to get myself situated in life. Sons of Anarchy was one of those shows that helped me, if that makes any sense to anybody. Another show that definitely didn't, even though I've already spoiled it, number 2 is, I'm just going to say it, it's The Walking Dead. Walking Dead used to be my number 1. Sons of Anarchy was number 2. Breaking Bad was number 3. Prison Break was number 4. So, you're all probably curious what number 1 is. Never thought there would be a show that would beat Walking Dead, but we're almost there. Walking Dead. I remember somebody donated it at my local Goodwill store that I worked at the time in 2011. I watched it. There was only 6 episodes in the first season, so I was like, alright, I'll watch it. I was like, that's a pretty good zombie flick. That was pretty good. Zombie flick, zombie series, whatever. I really liked it. But I didn't go out of my way to watch season 2 yet because life was in the way and all this other crap. But I was into other stuff at the time. So I saw the second season at Walmart one day, and I was like, all right, I'll continue and see where they go from here. And man, season 2 was the one. To this day, season 2 is my favorite season. It is 10 out of 10. I know a lot of people don't really like it because of how slow and boring it may feel. For me, it's perfect because the character development, the writing, the atmosphere, everything was perfect. And the dynamic between Rick Grimes and Shane Walsh is my favorite storyline, hands down. Right around that time, season 3 was coming out on DVD. When that came out on DVD, I binged watched that too. Season 4 was the first season I watched on TV. And from then on, all the way to the bitter end at season 11. I watched it all the way to the end. Season 1, all the way to season, you can make a case for season 6. Season 6 was the peak of The Walking Dead. When Negan showed up, and let me say this, Negan is one of my favorite characters. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was perfect in the role. He carried the next back half of the show, hands down. When season 7 came out after the first episode, which traumatized the shit out of me and a lot of people, and you know what I'm talking about. It was, I don't know what the hell happened, but the vibe, the mood changed completely. That was the worst season. Now, I still liked it, but I didn't love it. And as time went on, I was like, man, this season does suck. But Negan made it worth watching. And of course, Rick. Rick's my boy. Come on. Season 8, I prefer Season 8 over Season 7 because Season 8 had some action and stuff. There was stuff that was going on, but still, it was not that well of a great of season either. And then Season 9 comes out. Man, that one was a good, true return to form to the show. Right there, that. Season 9, the first 5 episodes, some of the best I've ever seen. And of course, with Rick leaving, that definitely hurt it. I skipped a couple of weeks. Didn't really care. But I was like, okay, I'm curious where they're going with this. I can't just walk away after watching it for this many years. The show was totally different without Rick, and I felt it. But the back half of Season 9 was still damn good without Rick. The stuff with the characters and what was going on with them was very engaging and all that. Season 10 and 11, I've only seen once. I don't really care for Season 10 and 11. I definitely enjoy it more than Season 7 and 8. Don't get me wrong. But it just felt too different without Rick. It wasn't the same without Rick. It had a good ending for me. It wasn't a great ending. It could have done more with it. But, Walking Dead, those first earlier years I was watching it was like an event. It was important to all of us. It was important to my family. It was me. It started out with me, then it was my mom, and then my brother got into it, then my sister and her husband got into it. And so it was like, okay, it was cool. It was really cool. We would talk about it after, or we would call or text each other and be like, yeah, that was cool. This episode sucked. It was meh. But it was great. Another show that was a part of my life and my family. So, yes, Walking Dead, definitely much better than Sons of Anarchy, and Rick Grimes is my favorite protagonist in TV history. So, yes, The Walking Dead was excellent in the first half, but it fumbles pretty hard in the second half. Despite Season 9 being one of my top 3 seasons. Season 2, 1, and 3, or 9 are my top 3 favorite seasons. You can make a case for Season 4 and 5, which is peak Walking Dead. But The Walking Dead is it could have been an excellent show all the way through. but because I love it so much, it earns its place at number 2. It used to be number 1, but it's number 2. And no, I never thought a show would ever top The Walking Dead. Sometimes I would prefer Sons of Anarchy over Walking Dead. For the past couple of years, I actually know before that, because a couple of years ago is when we get to my number 1, when I was introduced to my number 1. But Walking Dead's always stood out to me because it was a zombie apocalypse show and all that. So, yeah, there's that. But now we get to number 1, and this show was introduced to me at the perfect time because 2023. I'm sure you may have heard me say this. 2023 was the worst year of my life. Financially, mentally, physically, health-wise, definitely, and family-wise. So it was a really bad year. It was a horrible year. I don't want to go into too details because it's not about me. This video is not about me. I'm just trying to get you to understand why this show is my number 1. I was going through a very bad breakup. Like I said, it was a shit year, man. But my mom over the years has talked about this show for different occasions, and I finally was just like, okay, I need something to get my mind off this thing. I need something new. For some reason, 13 Reasons Why was right there. My mom had the first and second season on DVD. I only grabbed the first season because I didn't know if I was going to like it or what. Then I started watching it. I knew what the story was about and all that. I didn't think I was going to like it in the first season or first episode. But I kept watching. Then I watched the second episode. And then I watched the third episode. And I was thinking to myself, holy shit, I'm addicted. What is going on here? And as the show progressed, if you guys know what 13 Reasons Why, the first season specifically, you know where I'm going to. It's a story of suicide. And the character of Hannah Baker, played by Catherine Langford, she sold me. You could say that she saved my life. Because, like I said before, I was going through a dark time, and I didn't know if I was going to come out of it. Catherine Langford saved me. She saved me. And I'm sure that she saved a lot of people's lives because of this show. It tells a story of how suicide can affect everyone around you. And it impacted me in a way I never thought it would. This show is super sad, but it's very well written, well acted. It's very engaging. And the story, the way it was told through Hannah Baker's tapes that she makes before she, through the eyes of Clay Jensen, the main protagonist. Hey, another reason why. It's got my name. Hell yeah! But anyways, I forgot the main guy's name. The actor who plays him, I forgot his name. He was really good. Everybody was really good. Everybody acted the hell out of this. Some of the characters I absolutely wanted to punch in the face because it was so realistic. It happens every day all over the world. This stuff happens every day in the world, all over the world. And I watched it again, like a couple of days later, because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it was around Christmas time, too. It was literally like a couple of, 2 or 3 days before Christmas. A time of gathering. And holy crap, I remember how much I was just so, my mind was just racing and just going through all these motions. And I didn't talk to anybody. I remember telling some of the people, dude, this show got me. in a way I can't even describe. So, season 1, purely 10 out of 10. Catherine Langford, thank you. Thank you. You rock. You're definitely one of my favorite actresses. Her first acting gig, I believe, her first actual like performance in a show or TV movie or whatever, and she got a freaking Golden Globe nomination for it. She was amazing in this show. Amazing. Season 2 I watched. I did like it, but it didn't feel that vibe of the first season. I never even bothered to watch season 3 and 4 because I heard they were god awful. Although I did spoil myself because I was so invested in what happens after everything. And I saw the ending and I was like, okay, that was a good ending. But no, season 1. Season 1, I think it should have just stopped right there. I think it ran its course. That's all I really needed was season 1. And one season of a show beats everything on this list. And it ain't just that. It's like what I said. I was going through a dark time. And this show had a message. It had a message of how death of a person can really change everyone around you. Everyone. No matter whether it's positive or negative. And she saved my life. This show saved my life. And that's why it's my number 1. And it made me go, okay, snap out of my bullshit I'm going through. It may work with you, it may not. But I want you guys to understand why this is my number 1. I know I got pretty deep into my personal life there, but like I said, I want you to understand. But that's my top 10, guys. Sorry to get a little bit dramatic about things, but I wanted you to understand. Again, top 10 TV shows of all time. I'm definitely going to be doing top 10 movies soon. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.